So students, in the previous video lecture we studied the lesson number 1 of the Bentley WaterGem software quick start lessons. In that lesson we studied how to build a model in the WaterGem software and how to perform steady state analysis after assigning the properties to the different elements of the water distribution network. Now we will be continuing to the lesson number 2, which is the extended period simulation. So if you remember, in lesson number 1 what we did was, first we modeled our WaterGem's water distribution network in WaterGems, and then we assigned individual properties to all the hydraulic elements. So in case of junctions, if you remember, we assigned the particular demand of that particular junction to each junction. For example, in one case it was 350 liter per minute, in another case it was 31 liter per minute. So it can vary according to the junction demand. But in reality what happens is, so if you remember, we assigned a particular junction demand to a particular junction and we did not vary it. But actually what happens practically is that during a day or during a month or during a particular part of the year or season, the water demands may vary according to the user needs. For example, if I am in college right now, so all the students and all the faculty and all the staff are in the college at daytime, so the water demand will be more in during the daytime in the college as compared to in the morning and night time. So we cannot say for college that if I say that demand is 50 liter per minute, then we cannot say that throughout the day that value will be remaining constant due to the increasing or decreasing demand. So in EPS we will learn how to do this use or perform this particular simulation on our water distribution network, that during the day or during the month or during the season the water demand is varying, as water demand cannot be constant. So what we will be doing is, in this particular case we will be using the same model which we did in the lesson number 1. If you remember, this was the water distribution network which we designed in the previous lecture. So we will be using the same network, and then but here we will be applying the extended period simulation, not the steady state analysis. Okay, so let us begin. Okay, so now we will be beginning with the EPS modeling. So for that we will be using the same model which we prepared in the lesson number 1. So we will open that WaterGems file of lesson number 1. So go to your folder where you have saved that file and click on so this is the lesson number 1 which I have prepared. So click on that and it will get opened. Now this is the model which we prepared. You can also open it by going to File, Open, and then browse to the folder and click on the file. It's up to you. So what we want to do is, we want to continue from here, that is from lesson number 1 then lesson number 2, but I don't want to change my lesson number 1 file so that I can use it again later on also. So what I will do is, I will make another copy of this lesson number 1 and then work on that, rather than modifying the same file. I will first make its copy. So for that, go to File, Save As, and make another copy. Lesson number 2 should be EPS. So by doing this, what I am doing is, I am making another copy of lesson number 1 and renaming it to lesson number 2 should be EPS. Save. So you can see now my file is lesson number 2 should be EPS. The lesson number 1, I am not working on that. So in lesson number 1 what we had done was, we had built this network, and then we had assigned the required properties to all the nodes and all the other hydraulic elements. So now we want to know do the EPS. So I have already told you what is EPS. EPS is basically considering the time varying effect of water on the water demand. So here you can see, if you remember, So what is happening is that water demand is fluctuating over time, whether it is daily or weekly or monthly or according to seasons. The water demand cannot be fixed. So what we have to do is we have to model this change in water demand with time in the our water distribution network, right? So how we will do that, I'll be just showing you. So for this, first of all, let us uh, click on our junction. So if you remember, when we did the first lesson, the demand we had assigned to individual junctions. So go to any of the junction and click on the demand. So in the demand, if you remember, we had kept it as fixed and the base demand was taken as 38 liter per minute. So what does this mean is that this demand is fixed throughout the day, throughout the time. So there is we are not considering time effect of the on the water demand, but now in EPS we will have to consider that. Okay, so how we will do that is I will explain to you with the help of an example. So let us consider that base demand of a junction is 50 liter per minute, right? So this is the base demand. Base demand means that the actual demand can be above this value or below this value. So this is a particular value. Now let us consider that during the morning hours the water demand is 25 liter per minute, and during the afternoon the water demand is 100 liter per minute. So this demand, we can say, it is not fixed but it is varying with time, right? So this is morning time, this is afternoon. So this, in order to incorporate this particular change, that this demand is varying with time, here it is 25, here it is 100. So what we will do in WaterGems is that, so you can see here that the 25 liter per minute is almost half of your 50 liter per minute. So what we will do is we will multiply 50 with a factor. So here this factor will be 0.5, because we know that the 25 is 50% less, 50% of 50, so the factor is 0.5 and we will get the value as 25, right? So this value here is called as the multiplier 0.5. So we will be using these multipliers. So what we will do is we will keep the demand, base demand, as fixed, and then we will multiply it with different multipliers which will vary according to the time. Like here for afternoon, what will be the multiplier? As the demand is doubling here, so the multiplier here will be 2. So 50 into multiplier 2 will get you 100. So 2 is the multiplier during the afternoon time. So we will be assigning different multipliers at different times and we will then do the analysis, right? So let us go to WaterGems, back to WaterGems, and let us now start how to do that. So all the work we will be doing in EPS will be in the junctions only, because the junctions are giving the uh, demand. So let us start with junction number 1. So go to the demand collection. So we are only concerned with demand here, rest of the properties will be fixed. Now change this demand, base demand, to 23 liter per minute, and now in the steady state analysis we had kept it fixed, but now we will have to change that. So we will have to add another case here. So for that, go to this ellipsis and this dialog box will open. So this is the pattern manager which has opened, right? So what I'll be doing here is that since we know that the water demands in case of residential and commercial cases are different. So residential demand pattern in residential case is different from that of the commercial water demand, right? So what we will do is we will make two cases first. So first of residential and then of commercial. So let us click on the hydraulic first and new. So in one case will be generated here, hydraulic pattern 1. So I will rename is at residential. So this means that the water demand pattern in this we will be considering for a residential building, and another I will be creating the commercial hydraulic case. So now first let us start with the residential. So first let us start with the start time. So let us keep it as 12 am. So this means that we are keeping the start time as 12 am. Now keep the starting multiplier 0.5. So this means that, okay, so 12 am means midnight. So during midnight the water demand will not be 0, but it will not be very high also. So the base demand we had taken as 23 liter per minute, so we will be doing the half of 23 liter per minute. So this, they have assumed that the starting multiplier is 0.5, which means that 50% of the base demand we will be using here. Now with time, that is at 1 am, 2 am, 3 am, 11 am, 2 pm, 5 pm, the water demand will vary. So we will be making this table here. So let me first make this table so that so time for start hours 3 hours and multiplier for that is 0.4. So this is time for start and this is multiplier. So what does this line mean here is that from after 3 hours up to 3 hours from start time, that is 3 am, the multiplier is 0.4. So what does this mean here is that the base demand was 23. Now we can change because during after 12 am up to 3 am the water demand will be lesser, so the multiplier will be 0.4. So the demand will be 0.4 into the base demand. Okay, then for 6 hours 1. So this means that from 3 to 6 hours the water demand multiplier is 1. This means that the water demand will be same as the base demand, because 1 into base demand will give you base demand only. So you can decrease the gap also. You, if the time variation is hourly or after 2 hours or after 5 hours, you can change that. But in a quick start lesson 3 hours duration interval is given, so I am also taking that. So for 9 hours 1.3, 12 hours 1.2. So you can see here that from here to here the water demand increased, because these are the early morning hours up to morning hour. The early morning hours we need more water because of for bathing and for cleaning. So 1.3 the water demand will increase, and after that the water demand may decrease, so multiplier has been decreased. Now 15 hours 1.2, 18 hours 1.6, 21 hours 0.8, 24 hours 0.5. Okay, so you must have noticed that as we completed this table, this graph has automatically been plotted between the multiplier and the time. So you can see here is that during the morning hours the water demand was more. Okay, it increased to here. Then after that it decreased a bit, because in daytime there are not, all the members of the family are not in the house, so it decreased a bit. Then in the evening time again it increased, that is after 18 hours, from 15 to 18 hours it again increased, because evening time consumption of water is also more. Then 21 hours, because it is night time, the water demand again get decreased. Now note here that 24 hour starting multipliers must be same as the starting multiplier, because 24 hours means 12 am. So these should match because we are completing a cycle here. So this is the residential demand case. Here with time we have changed the multipliers, so this will result in different water demands at different times. Now we will be doing the same for commercial case also, but as you know, in commercial case the water demand pattern will be different during different times because of the requirement. So start time again 12 am and starting multiplier 0.4. So this means that during the night time the multiplier the water requirement is 0.4 times the base demand. The pattern format stepwise. time for start 3 hours 0.6. So as in the morning time it will start increasing uh, at a uh, at a slow pace, but after 9 hours it will increase to 1.6, because this is the, sorry, 12, after 12 hours 1.6, because this is the daytime, right? So from 10 to 4 p.m. or so, the water requirement will be more. 15 hours 1.2. So in commercial case we see that in the afternoon time the water requirement is more, and as we approach evening and night time it will again decrease. It is 0.6, and for 24 hours it will be same as the starting multiplier 0.4, because we have to complete the cycle and complete the loop. Okay, so you can see here the graph has been plotted, and if you compare this graph with residential graph, you can clearly identify that which is residential and which is commercial. In commercial the afternoon requirement will be more, and in residential the morning and evening requirement will be more. So now we have made the residential and commercial cases. Now we will close. Now that we have defined residential and commercial case, now 23 liter per minute demand, for this demand the pattern demand we will keep as residential, and for commercial 15 liter per minute, sorry, commercial. So this means that for residential case, residential pattern, the base demand is 23 liter per minute, and the residential pattern will vary in this way, like here. And for commercial it is 15 liter per minute the base demand, and it will vary in this way, right? So this is for junction number 1. Now we will be doing the same for all the junctions. So for junction number 2, the demand, so the values are different for each junction. Demand is 23 for residential and 8 liter per minute for commercial. So this basically depends on that the junction is coming in residential or commercial or both. So in some cases the junction may be completely residential or completely commercial also, so you don't need to define both of these. So for junction 3, 23 and 11 for commercial. For junction 4, 23 and 15 for residential and commercial. For junction number 5, the value is 350 for residential, and there is no case of commercial, as this might be a completely residential junction, so no case of commercial. And for junction 6, 280 and 76 for residential and commercial respectively. So now we have assigned all the demand patterns to all the junctions which are varying with time. So once you have defined here we had defined the residential and commercial patterns once. So if you open any of the other junctions, automatically here the residential and commercial pattern will automatically get incorporated, because you have already defined it once, right? So this is about how we apply the water demand patterns to all the junctions. Now let us consider another case here, a third case. So we did two cases, residential and commercial. So let us consider a third case, which is fire flow case. So let us assume that at junction number 6, a 3-hour fire has broken out, right, in junction number 6. So we know that if I click on junction number 6, we have assigned the demand for residential and commercial and the base demands for these. But we know that during the fire the base demand will be very high, because during fire we need a lot of water for extinguishing the fire. So we will do another case here for 3-hour fire. So for that, what we will do is we will for junction number 6 write the base demand as 2000 liter per minute, right? And now we will not use residential or commercial or fixed pattern. We will not use either of these. We will go to the ellipsis and we will assign another case. We will make a new case here, which is 3-hour fire at junction number 6. Okay, so what we are doing here is that we are giving a requirement of large amount of water during 3 hours of fire. So for that 12 am, and starting multiplier is 0. So why we have kept it as 0 is because at 12 am we are not saying that the fire will break out at 12 am. So the base demand will be 0. So this demand is only for fire purpose, not for the usage purpose. Okay, for extinguishing the fire, this water is for extinguishing the fire, not for other uses. So the base demand is so the demand at the this particular time is 0. This is just a base time. Okay, now pattern format stepwise. Now 18 hours 1, 21 0, and 24 also 0. So what does this table indicate is that the fire will break out between this particular time 18 to 21 hours, and that's why the multiplier has been kept as 1. So this means that the multiplier at this up to these 3 hours, that is 18 to 21 hours, the water demand will increase to 2000 liter per minute. So you can see here in graph also very clearly that during this time the water requirement is 0 for the fire purpose. Okay, and during these 3 hours the water demand has suddenly shooted up to 2000 liter per minute, that is multiplier into 2000, which is giving the 2000 liter per minute. Right, now close this, and now that we have defined the pattern, so we will select this pattern for 2000 liter per minute. So this is about how we can do another case for junction number 6. Now we will just run our analysis. So for that, go to first calculations options and double click and base calculation options, and here very important, from the time analysis type you will select EPS, or the analysis will not be done by EPS, so you will have to select EPS. In lesson number 1 we had kept it as steady state. Now close it and we will compute. So now you can see here that all are green. Green means there is no issue or no warning or no error in our analysis. So this means that this is our case. So let us first take so if you see here that in EPS there are we have got the analysis for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 up to 24 hours. So 24 hourly analysis we have got here from 0 to 24 hours. So you can check here that what are the various demands and various supplies. So let us check at 20 hours. Right, so the demand was 822 and the flow demand was 822. So there is the demand is being fulfilled, but there will be no stored water, there will be no balanced water. Here you can see in this particular case the demand is 1084 and the supply was 1084 and demand was 411. So we have this much balance, and this is the case for 7 hours. So you can see here that the flow supply was 2211 but the demand was 3255. So negative means that we are deficit of by this much water. So we need to make some arrangement that our this particular value is being met, right? So this is how the water distribution network is being run, right, for EPS, right? So this is about the lesson number 2 of EPS, that is the sorry